How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews back with... How do I put this? If I don't like this beer, there's something wrong with the world. That'd be Oxbow Brewing. It is their Farmhouse Pale Ale. Yeah, I think I might have had this before, actually. But I don't remember if I definitely did. Last couple times when I was up in the main area, I didn't go to Oxbow, but a lot of tap rooms in and around those areas have a bunch of Oxbow on, so I probably have had this while I was up there. But I don't remember, so we're going to go into it fresh. One of my favorite breweries. They tend to be a little bit pricey for their beers. A lot of their stuff comes in like the 375, 500 milliliter bottles, and they're, they reflect the kind of beers that they make. These kind of, long-term, foeder-aged, kind of spontaneous, funky, those kind of beers that take time and effort, hence the pricing. But, I don't see them a ton where I live in New Jersey. I used to see them a bit more when I was out in Pennsylvania. But today I had to go to out closer to New York today. And there's a little bottle shop out there. Not a little one, a big chain one. But they do online ordering. And I was like, just let me tinker around. Because I was going to be like 5 minutes away from the place. Let me tinker around. And I forget what I typed in, but this popped up. And it was like $12 for a 4-pack. That's me all day. Let's dive into the sucker. What? Farmhouse Ale, American Hopped Blonde Farmhouse Ale. Production time, 8 weeks. So it took them 8 weeks to produce this beer, which is, when you're talking about a pale ale, is quite long. Usually, these small little pale ales and hazies that you see people come out with nowadays, it's like a 2-week turnaround a lot of times. And it says, keep cool and dark and enjoy within 1 year. I do not know the date of this. It might have been in a 4-pack holder. I did not look, but there's no date on the bottle. But listen, a little pale ale, Oxbow, I think it would have lasted longer than a year. So we'll see what's what. 6% alcohol by volume. Yeah, like I said, this is kind of like wheelhouse me. From a brewery that I enjoy quite a bit. So if this isn't good, I don't know what I'm going to be thinking. Beautiful head on that. Nice kind of, if I gave this a little bit more effort, maybe had an extra bottle, slow poured the crap out of this thing would creep, inches out of this glass. Very almost like champagne-like carbonation on this not clear, subtly hazy, but what people would consider hazy and not hazy nowadays. But it's got this soft, kind of unfiltered Belgian-style pale ale kind of haze to it with that beautiful carbonation. That head is mesmerizingly beautiful. It's weird because it's uniform, tight, compact bubbles until you start getting towards the top where it's crumbling down on top of itself. Very kind of soapy, while at the same time kind of fluffy. Very cool. And label-wise, I actually dig it quite a bit. It reminds me of the New York Transit system. When they show the subway systems, it kind of has that kind of vibe going for it. Not necessarily something you think of when it comes to a pale ale, but yeah, I don't hate. Well, I hate on a lot of stuff, but I don't hate that. Anyway, so yeah, she looks the part. Let's see if she has on the nose. I mean, this is a Belgian pale ale. They can call it all the American hopped blonde farmhouse ale they want. This is a Belgian pale ale through and through. At least it is on the nose. Soft, little bubblegum vibes wrapped around a little bit of a coriander, little cardamom kind of spiciness to it. The malt base comes off like a marriage of like a Pilsner Vienna, kind of with a slight touch of like a wheat to it, to where it gives us a little bit of body. It's definitely floating around the farmhouse Belgian pale, Belgian wit kind of trifecta floating around there. Soft little bittering, nothing too crazy as far as fruitiness from the hops. Most of the fruitiness I believe I'm getting from a yeast ester. It's more of that kind of Belgian yeast coming ahead with that little bit of kind of bubblegum, throwing a little bit of kind of banana, throwing a little bit of kind of fruitiness on top of it. Yeah, she smells absolutely fantastic. Cheers. That's delicious. That's delicious. It's even a little bit warm. I would say this is probably closer to 55 than 45. And I kind of like it like that. Yeah. I mean, it is decently aggressive in its hopping, but that comes off more as a bittering component than a fruit component. So you're getting this kind of nice, sharp, slightly green, like unkept lawn, mowing an unkept lawn kind of greeniness. So like it's a little bit of grassiness, a little bit of, garden weed pulling kind of weediness, tomato stocky kind of sharp greeniness, but it doesn't get heavy handed. It's not over the top. The fruit, there is a decent amount of fruit in there. Like I said, that kind of bubblegum, banana, slightly melony thing. I'm going to sneeze. Ooh, sorry about that. Is more morphing into a little bit of soft kind of orchard peachiness for me, which makes me lean a little bit more back to that kind of farmhouse saison-y kind of vibe on it. But it still has a lot of Belgian Pale Ale soul to the beer itself. And it drinks sharp with those hops and soft from the water mouthfeel, and then finishes dry. So it takes kind of this nice kind of adventure ride real quick, because the sharpness of that hop is, for its ABV and for the style of beer, is relatively aggressive, but it's not aggressive like in the grand scheme of things, but for the beer it's aggressive. But then you get that kind of ebb and flow of going from that sharp greeniness to that soft, sultry mouthfeel you'd expect from a nice soft saison, something that has to have a decent amount of wheat in it, and then just finishes with this pop of dryness that dries everything out. Doesn't make you thirsty, it dries you out enough to where you want a little bit more. It's absolutely fantastic beer. This is probably one of the better, like, $12 4-packs of beer that I can get. It reminds me a lot, it's not similar, but it reminds me a lot of what I dig a lot about Tank 7 from Boulevard, at like 2.5% less alcohol. And that was my biggest gripe when it goes to Tank 7, because Tank 7's what, 8.5%, I believe? This is 6. This is giving me that kind of level of enjoyment, but at 2.5% less ABV. That's that soapbox. When I talk to you guys about all these big hazies that are delicious, but they're 9% or 8% or somewhere around there, then I'm like, I can get this at like 5.5%, 6%. This is what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not going to knock Tank 7 for that. I still think it's an absolutely fantastic beer, even though that ABV is quite high, especially for a saison. But I always like that little bit of less ABV, and I'm getting it here. So, yeah, let's call me a happy camper. Yeah, absolutely fantastic beer. Tasty. Well made. Carbonation's nice. I thought it was going to be a little bit aggressive based off of what it looked like when I originally poured it. Effing delicious. Is this one of the better pale ales? Let's just go pale ale. Do we want to go pale ale, or do we want to go farmhouse beer? Let's go farmhouse beer. Let's go. I don't want to go Belgian farmhouse or Belgian pale ale or farmhouse pale ale, because that whittles down. Where do I want to put this beer? I kind of want to just put it in pale ale. Let's put it this way. Regardless of what I put it into, it's one of the better ones I've had as of late. Getting up there, if not in Mount Rushmore status, depending on what category I put it into. It's one of those beers that can be, if I drank this blind, I would assume, you never know, but I would assume I would struggle with this beer to categorize it. I'd be like, is it farmhouse? Wait, is it a wheat beer? Wait, is it a pale ale? Wait, what is it? Is this? Is it from the United States? Is it from Europe? Is it from Belgium? That, I think, is a testament to how good the beer is. Not necessarily that it doesn't know what it wants to be, but it's a jack of all trades beer in a very, very elegant and very, very pretty kind of way. So yeah, it's one of the better beers. Let's put it that way. One of the better beers I've had as of late. Value and availability, like I said, $12 for a 4-pack all day, and leave you with, if you like what you like this beer. If you like beer, if you like Belgian beers, if you like saison, you like farmhouse ales, and you like beer, I think you give this to a hoity-toity, snooty, thinks Cicerone is a big deal kind of person, they would love this. And then if you gave this to someone who just started to get into craft beer, and you're like, try this, I think both of those people would like this beer, and everybody in between. It's just really good beer. So if you like beer, you'll like this beer. So there you go. Another review of the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of good beer right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.